Welcome back to Who Died Today USA channel. In the past few days, we have received somber news about the passing of extraordinary talents. Today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Additionally, we will recap the stars we have recently lost. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Clem Burke, the legendary drummer best known for his explosive rhythms and relentless spirit, passed on April 7, 2025, at the age of 70, following a private battle with cancer. As a founding member of Blondie, Burke helped define the sound of a generation, merging punk energy with pop precision in a way that forever shaped the landscape of modern music. Born in Bayonne, New Jersey, in 1954, Burke's journey began with a pair of drumsticks and a love for rock and roll that never faded. By the mid-1970s, he had answered a quirky newspaper ad seeking a freak energy drummer, an invitation that led him to Blondie and into the heart of the New York music scene. Alongside Debbie Harry and Chris Stein, he brought life to hits like Heart of Glass, Call Me, The Tide is High, and Dreaming, leaving his unmistakable mark with every thunderous beat. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2006, Burke was more than just a band member. He was the driving force behind Blondie's rhythm, a passionate performer whose drumming was both raw and refined. Even after the band's original run, Burke remained an in-demand collaborator, performing with the Ramones, the Eurythmics, Bob Dylan, and countless others. In recent years, Burke faced his health challenges with the same quiet strength he brought to his music. Though he never sought the spotlight for personal matters, his resilience spoke volumes. He was described by his bandmates not only as the heartbeat of Blondie, but as a vibrant spirit who inspired everyone around him. Clem Burke's legacy lives on in every record, every stage he graced, and in the memories of fans who felt the pulse of his music. He was a rhythm that never faded, a true rock and roll original.
One time in its life, and that's why reading rags when they're in a review is a stupid thing that
William Finn, a groundbreaking composer and lyricist, brought raw emotion, humor, and humanity to the American stage through his deeply personal musicals. Best known for Falsettos, the Tony Award-winning Broadway production that explored love, family, and identity during the height of the AIDS crisis, Finn gave voice to stories often left untold, doing so with a lyrical wit and compassion that resonated across generations. Born in February 1952 in Boston and raised in Natick, Massachusetts, Finn's love for musical theater began early, dancing around his living room to Guys and Dolls. He taught himself guitar after receiving one as a bar mitzvah gift, and later studied music and composition at Williams College. There, he found inspiration in the works of Stephen Sondheim, which shaped his own distinctive voice as a composer. Finn's career spanned more than 4 decades. His notable works include the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, A New Brain, and Elegies. Each show bore his signature blend of poignancy and humor, often drawn from real-life experiences. A New Brain, for instance, reflected his own journey through a serious neurological condition and the existential questions it raised. On April 7, 2025, William Finn passed away at the age of 73 following complications from pneumonia. His literary agent, Ron Gwiazda, confirmed the news, and tributes poured in from across the theater world. William Finn's legacy is etched in the music that continues to move audiences, songs that tell the story of a life in just a few minutes. Through his honesty, vulnerability, and artistry, he reminded us all of the beauty found in imperfection, the strength in storytelling, and the power of simply being human.
words to say to you. Girl, we couldn't get much higher. Yeah!
Hollywood is in mourning as beloved actor Val Kilmer, the unforgettable Iceman of Top Gun, has taken his final bow. On April 1st, 2025, Kilmer passed away due to complications from pneumonia. A heartbreaking moment confirmed by his daughter Mercedes Kilmer in the New York Times. At 65, he leaves behind a legacy that has touched millions. For fans who grew up watching him soar through the skies in Top Gun, face off as Batman, or embody the spirit of Jim Morrison in The Doors, this news hits home. Val wasn't just a performer, he was a force of nature, a chameleon, a man who lived and breathed every role he touched. But what truly set him apart? It was his resilience. Even after major health battles that changed his voice and physical strength, Kilmer returned to the screen in Top Gun, Maverick, sharing a deeply emotional moment with Tom Cruise that left audiences speechless. His 2021 documentary, Val, crafted with his children Mercedes and Jack, gave fans a rare and honest glimpse into the soul of a man who never stopped fighting for his art. And in a final poetic gesture, Kilmer's last social media post wasn't words, it was a painting, quiet, moving, beautiful. From Juilliard prodigy to silver screen icon, Val Kilmer didn't just act, he inspired. And though he may no longer walk among us, the characters, the courage, and the creativity he gave to the world will live on forever.
Like all my dreams come true, and just working on the show was like all my dreams come true. But we were working so hard, we did about 30.
He was the face of a generation, and now, his final curtain call leaves us in silence. If you turned on your TV in the 60s, 70s, or 80s, chances are you saw him. With that unmistakable voice, those kind eyes, and a presence that filled every screen, Richard Chamberlain wasn't just an actor. He was woven into the fabric of American storytelling. From the compassionate young doctor in Dr. Kildare to the unforgettable Father Ralph in The Thornbirds and the noble Blackthorn in Shogun, Chamberlain didn't just play roles, he became them. He carried grace, quiet strength, and emotional depth into every performance, earning the title King of the Miniseries. On March 29, 2025, Richard passed away at his home in Waimanalo, Hawaii, due to complications following a stroke. The news was confirmed to People magazine by a close family friend. Later in life, Chamberlain embraced his truth with courage and quiet dignity, becoming a source of strength for others who looked up to him not only as an artist, but as a human being. His longtime partner, Martin Rabbit, shared a moving farewell. Richard is now free, flying with loved ones who came before. Love doesn't end, and our love is lifting him into his next adventure. Richard once said, "Acting is not about being someone different, it's finding the truth in who you are." And maybe that's what made him so unforgettable. He helped generations find pieces of truth, comfort, and beauty in every story he told. Peter Yarrow gave America not just a voice, but a heartbeat, steady, soulful, and full of hope. For those who remember the sound of the 1960s, his music wasn't just a backdrop, it was a lifeline. As 1/3 of the legendary folk trio Peter, Paul, and Mary, Peter gave life to songs that didn't just entertain, they inspired. From the steps of the Lincoln Memorial beside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., to classrooms filled with children singing Puff, the Magic Dragon, Peter believed that music could move hearts and minds, and for decades, it did. Peter passed peacefully at age 86, at his home in Manhattan, after living with bladder cancer for several years. The news was confirmed by his publicist, Ken Sunshine. Born in New York City in 1938, Peter's journey began with a guitar in hand at Cornell University, where he discovered the power of folk music to unite and heal. With hits like If I Had a Hammer, Blowin' in the Wind, and Leaving on a Jet Plane, he and his bandmates created the soundtrack of a movement. But Peter's impact didn't end on stage. In 1999, he founded Operation Respect, an anti-bullying initiative that reached over 22,000 schools, nurturing compassion and respect in a new generation. His daughter, Bethany, said it best. He believed with his whole heart that singing together could change the world. And in a time when voices feel divided, Peter Yarrow's harmony reminds us of what's possible when we listen and sing together.
There's no need for all that.
All what?
If you want to get acquainted, why don't you just say so?
Clint Eastwood, the gravel-voiced icon of American cinema, is more than just a film legend. He's a living testament to longevity, grit, and the art of purposeful aging. At 93, while most retreat into the shadows of retirement, Clint still directs, produces, and plays golf like a man half his age. But what exactly is the secret to his remarkable vitality? Before we dive in, let's ask, how would you rate Clint Eastwood's contribution to cinema and culture on a scale from 0 to 10? Which of his roles left a mark on your life? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear how this American legend shaped your view of resilience and aging. To understand Clint Eastwood's current strength, we must first revisit his incredible journey. Born on May 31, 1930, in San Francisco, Eastwood rose from humble beginnings to embody the American tough guy through roles in the Dollars trilogy, Dirty Harry, and Unforgiven. But even more impressive than his on-screen swagger is how Eastwood has aged with a kind of understated rebellion against time itself. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Science backs it up. Researchers have identified 7 key signs that predict longevity after age 70. When measured against Clint Eastwood's lifestyle, the results are nothing short of inspiring. 1. Walking speed studies show that walking pace is one of the most reliable indicators of longevity. Eastwood is known to walk daily, often seen pacing the golf course or strolling quietly on set. His stride remains confident, deliberate, a reflection of how his body is still in sync with life. 2. Grip strength. Grip strength is a surprising predictor of mortality. Clint may not crush hands for sport, but his ability to handle heavy equipment, direct actors, and maintain physical independence well into his 90s shows that strength hasn't left him. In fact, he still lifts light weights regularly and believes in staying strong, but not overdoing it. 3. Balance and coordination. Can you stand on one leg for 10 seconds? Eastwood can. Whether practicing martial arts in his younger years or maintaining his balance on film sets today, his agility has been a silent superpower. Simple balance routines, paired with golf and stretching, keep him stable and sharp. 4. Quality of sleep. Clint Eastwood once shared that he sleeps about 6 to 7 hours each night and avoids late nights. His consistent rest patterns allow his body to recover. Sleep, as studies suggest, is when the body repairs, strengthens memory, and restores energy, something Clint has clearly prioritized. 5. Appetite and diet. Eastwood follows a mostly lean, low-carb diet. He's famously avoided sugar and processed foods for decades, sticking to high-fiber, plant-based meals and lean proteins. This dietary discipline has protected him from inflammation, one of the biggest aging accelerators. 6. Managing stress. Don't let the old man in, Eastwood famously said, a motto he lives by. He's dealt with the pressures of fame, directing massive film productions and public scrutiny, all with a calm detachment. Deep breathing, time in nature, and purposeful work are all stress relievers he's embraced. 7. Social connections. Though often perceived as solitary, Clint Eastwood maintains strong relationships with his children, creative collaborators, and longtime friends. Social connection is one of the strongest predictors of long life, and Eastwood's quiet, loyal bonds are his foundation. So, where is Clint Eastwood now? Still in Carmel, California, Eastwood divides his time between family, film, and golf. He continues to develop projects and mentor younger filmmakers. While he has stepped back from acting, his presence in Hollywood remains powerful. His most recent directorial effort, Cry Macho, 2021, is a reflective work that mirrors his own thoughts on aging and purpose. In interviews, Clint has said he doesn't think about age. You wake up, you go to work, you do what you love, age is just a number. Clint Eastwood's story isn't just about Hollywood glory, it's about mastering the art of living. His daily habits mirror what science says about longevity. But more than that, his life teaches us that aging isn't the end of the road, it's a new chapter. So, what can you take away from Clint Eastwood's approach to aging? Do you see yourself walking farther, sleeping better, or managing stress more intentionally? We'd love to know your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that age doesn't define us. Our mindset and habits do. Clint Eastwood may not live forever, but the example he set will. And maybe that's the most legendary role of all.
Posthumous shade, with effects that are comic or tragic. There's no cheaper house in the trade. Love filter with quantities of it, and for knowledge.
Clive Revill wasn't just a performer, he was a presence. With a voice that could command a galaxy and a heart that brought depth to every role, he left an indelible mark on generations of theatergoers, film lovers, and animation fans alike. Born in New Zealand in 1930, Revill trained for a career in accounting before being encouraged by legends Laurence Olivier and Vivien Leigh to pursue acting, a path that would take him from Shakespearean stages to the stars, literally. In 1980, he became the original voice of Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, delivering lines that would become iconic in pop culture. Revill's brilliance extended beyond science fiction. He earned a Golden Globe nomination for Avanti, voiced Alfred in Batman, the animated series, and lit up Broadway in productions like Oliver and Irma la Douce, earning 2 Tony nominations. In his later years, Revill faced health challenges, including dementia, and on March 11, 2025, he passed peacefully at a care facility in Sherman Oaks, California. The news was confirmed by his daughter, Kate Revill. To his family, he was more than a legend. Kate shared, "At home, he wasn't the emperor. He was the father who read Shakespeare over tea, who taught us how to listen." His legacy continues not only in film and television, but in the classrooms where young actors study his timing, his tone, and his truth. Through every line delivered and every heart moved, Clive Revill reminded us that the finest performances are the ones that feel real.
You're not. You can hear it, but that's not listening to it. That's different from listening.
Denis Arndt, the acclaimed American actor known for his compelling work on stage and screen, passed away on March 25, 2025, at the age of 86, in his cherished cabin home in Ashland, Oregon. Best remembered for his role as Lieutenant Philip Walker in the 1992 thriller Basic Instinct, Arndt captivated audiences with his commanding presence, quiet intensity, and deep emotional range. Born on February 23, 1939, in Issaquah, Washington, Arndt led an extraordinary life long before entering the world of acting. He served as a U.S. Army helicopter pilot during the Vietnam War, earning 2 Purple Hearts and a Commendation Medal for his valor. After returning home, he flew helicopters in Alaska before a friend's encouragement led him to audition for a local play in Seattle, an invitation that would set the stage for his remarkable second career. Arndt flourished in theater, spending over a decade with the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, where he portrayed leading roles in King Lear, Coriolanus, and Othello. His crowning achievement came in 2017 with a Tony Award nomination for his powerful performance in Heisenberg on Broadway, opposite Mary Louise Parker. On screen, Arndt's versatility shone through in a wide range of roles, from SWAT and Undisputed to recurring parts in LA Law, Boston Legal, Grey's Anatomy, and The Good Fight. A favorite of producer David E. Kelley, he brought authenticity and nuance to every character he played. In 2019, Arndt faced a serious health setback after suffering a stroke. Yet even through recovery, he remained committed to his craft and his community, quietly mentoring young actors and staying engaged with the performing arts. His family described him as charming, irreverent, spontaneous, and magnetic, a true Renaissance man. More than just a performer, Denis Arndt was a storyteller, a soldier, a father, and a fearless seeker of truth in both life and art. His legacy lives on in the power of his performances, and in the generations of artists he inspired to lead with courage, purpose, and passion. Sian Barbara Allen, a quietly radiant presence on screen and stage, brought warmth, vulnerability, and emotional truth to every role she played. Born in Reading, Pennsylvania in 1946, Allen was a gifted actress whose career flourished throughout the 1970s and early 80s, leaving behind performances that still resonate with tenderness and authenticity. She first rose to prominence with her unforgettable turn in the 1972 thriller You'll Like My Mother, earning a Golden Globe nomination for Most Promising New Actress. The following year, she starred opposite Bette Davis in the cult classic Scream, Pretty Peggy, further cementing her status as a rising talent. On television, she appeared in beloved series such as The Waltons, Columbo, Gunsmoke, The Rockford Files, and The Incredible Hulk. Her portrayal of Jenny Pendleton on The Waltons, a gentle, hopeful character who touched the heart of John Boy, remains a favorite for longtime fans of the show. Allen was known for playing characters marked by great empathy and quiet strength. Behind the scenes, she was equally compelling, a poet, screenwriter, and advocate who stepped away from acting in 1990 to focus on her family, creative writing, and political activism. Sian Barbara Allen passed away on March 31, 2025, in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, following complications related to Alzheimer's disease. Her family confirmed her passing through Variety and The Hollywood Reporter. Her legacy lives on in the gentle power of her performances and the written words she left behind. For those who remember her, on screen or in spirit, Sian Barbara Allen remains a symbol of grace, courage, and quiet brilliance that continues to inspire across generations.
It was because I was jealous that you actually got Abe, but I knew I couldn't control him anymore.
Mary Schmucker, affectionately known to fans as Mama Mary, brought joy, strength, and humor into homes across America through her unforgettable role on TLC's Breaking Amish and its spin-off, Return to Amish. On March 28, 2025, Mary passed peacefully at her home in Pennsylvania, following a 3-year journey with colon cancer, as confirmed by her family and reported by TMZ. From her first appearance in 2012, Mary stood out, not just as the mother of Abe Schmucker, but as a warm, spirited woman navigating the line between deep-rooted traditions and modern life. Her charm, honesty, and infectious laughter made her a favorite among viewers, especially during her standout episodes in Season 2. Even beyond television, Mary touched lives. Through social media, she connected with thousands, often live-streaming from her home with messages of gratitude, advice, and faith. In one memorable post, she said, "You don't have to be perfect to be loved. Just be real. That's what God sees." Mary's family continues to carry her legacy of authenticity, faith, and compassion. Her daughter-in-law, Rebecca, shared that her children are growing up learning from Mary's example. She taught us to live boldly but humbly, and always with love. She is survived by her husband, Chester, 5 children including Abe, Katie Ann, and Andy, and a growing family of grandchildren who knew her not just as Mama Mary, but as a constant light. As we remember her, may we all take to heart her quiet wisdom. Be kind, be grateful, and never be afraid to be who you really are. Because that's exactly how Mary lived, and why she'll always be remembered.
You know me better than anyone else in the entire world, Nora. I love you, and you love me.
Mark Dobies, a familiar and steady presence in the world of daytime television, brought strength, complexity, and compassion to every role he embraced. On March 11, 2025, Mark passed away at the age of 65 in Dunellen, New Jersey, as confirmed by his family through his official obituary. Though the specific cause was not publicly disclosed, the love and admiration expressed by fans and colleagues alike speak volumes about the life he led. Born on April 3, 1959, Mark's career took flight in the 1990s when he captivated audiences with his performance as Dr. Noah Chase on Guiding Light. He later took on the compelling role of District Attorney Daniel Colson on One Life to Live, earning praise for his ability to navigate sensitive, emotionally charged storylines with grace and authenticity. Mark's talents extended beyond television. On stage, he portrayed Bruce Niles in the 2004 off-Broadway revival of The Normal Heart, bringing courage and humanity to a role steeped in social impact. His guest appearances on shows like CSI Miami, Law and Order: Criminal Intent, and Gossip Girl further demonstrated his versatility. Outside the spotlight, Mark was known as a devoted father, a gifted athlete, and a generous spirit. His children, Francesca, Olivia, and Robert, carry forward his values of kindness, resilience, and curiosity. As his family shared, his legacy lives on in the lives he touched and the love he gave so freely. Mark Dobies reminded us that true artistry comes not only from talent, but from the heart. His life was a quiet triumph, one that will continue to inspire, both on the screen and beyond it. With deep respect and admiration, we remember Émilie Dequenne, the luminous Belgian actress whose performances touched the soul of European cinema. She passed away on March 16, 2025, at the age of 43, following a private battle with a rare adrenal gland illness, adrenocortical carcinoma. Her family and agent confirmed the news from a hospital near Paris. Émilie's journey in film began with a spark that lit up the world stage. At just 17, she stunned audiences in Rosetta, a raw, powerful portrait of youth and poverty. The film not only won the Palme d'Or at Cannes in 1999, but also earned Émilie the Best Actress award, a remarkable debut that signaled the arrival of a rare talent. Over the next 2 decades, Émilie built a career rooted in integrity and emotional truth. From The Brotherhood of the Wolf to Our Children and This Is Our Land, she portrayed complex women navigating love, injustice, and resilience. Her work earned her multiple honors, including the César and Magritte Awards, and resonated deeply with those who value storytelling that reflects life's quiet struggles. She is survived by her husband, actor Michel Faraci, and her daughter Mila, who now carries forward her mother's warmth, wisdom, and courage. "I choose roles that mean something," Émilie once said, "because film should move people, not just entertain them." Though she left us too soon, Émilie's legacy is everlasting. Through her characters, she reminded us of the dignity in hardship and the beauty of compassion. Her light will continue to shine, quietly, profoundly, in every story that dares to speak the truth. Jim Quinn, a beloved and influential voice in American radio, passed peacefully on March 30th, 2025, at the age of 82. Known for his decades-long presence in Pittsburgh broadcasting, Jim began his radio journey in the 1960s as a DJ at KQV and became a household name with his energetic morning show, Quinn and Banana, on B94, which captivated listeners throughout the 1980s and early 1990s. In the years that followed, Jim transitioned from music to political commentary, becoming a leading voice in conservative talk radio. His show, The War Room with Quinn and Rose, co-hosted with Rose Soma Tennant, reached a national audience, combining sharp analysis with his unmistakable charisma. Even as formats changed and stations evolved, Jim's connection with his audience remained steadfast. Behind the mic, he was known for his wit, passion, and powerful delivery, but also for his resilience. In early 2025, Jim underwent open-heart surgery and later experienced complications from an aortic aneurysm, as reported by Trib Live. Though his health declined, his voice and spirit left a lasting impression. Jim Quinn was more than a broadcaster. He was a pioneer, a mentor, and a trusted companion to listeners who tuned in every morning. His career spanned generations, adapting with the times while remaining rooted in authenticity. As his longtime colleague Don Jefferson shared, Jim didn't just fill airtime, he made you feel something. His legacy lives on in the conversations he sparked, the ideas he championed, and the countless lives he touched through the simple power of radio.
I'm a real nigga, lick, hit a bitch, get her, quick flipper, pot, whip a dope dealer.
Young Scooter, born Kenneth Edward Bailey, left an undeniable mark on the Atlanta music scene with his raw voice and unfiltered storytelling. He passed away on March 28, 2025, at the age of 39, following an accidental leg injury sustained while fleeing from a property during a police response. The Fulton County Medical Examiner confirmed that the cause was a penetrating injury to the thigh, leading to severe blood loss. A true son of Atlanta, Scooter rose from humble beginnings to become a respected figure in the Southern hip-hop community. He emerged in 2012 under Future's Free Bands label and quickly gained attention for his gritty lyrics and unpolished delivery. His breakthrough mixtape Street Lottery in 2013 showcased his collaborations with Future, Gucci Mane, and Young Dolph, cementing his place in the trap movement. Scooter's music reflected a life lived close to the edge, speaking for communities that often go unheard. Tracks like Columbia and Work didn't just entertain, they gave listeners a window into survival, hustle, and resilience. He was known not only for his collaborations, but for staying independent, often saying he valued loyalty and freedom over fame. Though his journey was marked by challenges, Young Scooter's presence was a steady force in a rapidly evolving industry. His authenticity and loyalty earned him admiration far beyond his hometown. His story serves as a powerful reminder that greatness isn't always shaped by awards or charts, but by staying true to who you are. And in that, Scooter never wavered. As fans and peers reflect on his life, his music continues to echo, a lasting beat from Atlanta's streets that still speaks volumes.
Face looks like a Birkin bag that's been left out in the sun to rot! How do we fix?
Breaking news. From Scream Queen to Hollywood legend. What's the untold story of Jamie Lee Curtis? In a world that often celebrates polished perfection, few stories shine brighter than that of Jamie Lee Curtis, a woman who has walked through both the glitter and the shadows of fame and emerged with wisdom, authenticity, and grace. Her life is not just a tale of Hollywood success, but a profound journey of personal growth, redemption, and resilience that speaks to the heart of anyone who has ever struggled, hoped, or dared to change. Born on November 22, 1958, into Hollywood royalty, Jamie Lee Curtis seemed destined for the spotlight. As the daughter of screen legends Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh, her name carried weight from the beginning. But Jamie Lee never leaned on legacy. She made her mark her own way, stepping into the public eye with a fresh face and a fearless spirit. She exploded onto the scene in 1978 with the iconic horror film Halloween, earning the title Scream Queen and capturing the attention of audiences across the country. But she did not stop there. Her career blossomed with films like Trading Places, A Fish Called Wanda, and True Lies, where she showcased a remarkable ability to balance comedic timing, emotional depth, and action star grit. Audiences loved her not only for her talent, but for her candor, her quick wit, and her uniquely human warmth that leapt off the screen. Yet behind the charm and applause, Jamie Lee was quietly waging a battle few could see. In the late 1980s, following a routine cosmetic procedure, she was prescribed painkillers, something many might consider ordinary. But for Jamie Lee, this moment marked the beginning of a hidden struggle with opioid dependency. For 10 years, she suffered in silence, hiding her addiction from friends, colleagues, and even her family. She once shared how she would steal pills from loved ones, an act that filled her with shame but spoke volumes about the grip of dependency. Her lowest point came not with a dramatic public unraveling, but with a quiet, internal reckoning. In 1999, she took a brave first step toward healing, attending her first recovery meeting. From that day forward, Jamie Lee Curtis has remained sober, a journey that now spans over 2 decades. She often describes sobriety as the single greatest accomplishment of her life. Not her awards, not her box office numbers, but the fact that she chose to live, to change, and to lead others out of darkness. Her recovery didn't just change her personal life, it transformed her mission. Jamie Lee became a powerful voice for those struggling with addiction, breaking down stigmas, and speaking openly about the realities of dependency and healing. Her message is clear: there is always hope. Through every interview, every post, every heartfelt reflection, she reminds us that it's never too late to reclaim your life. And she has continued to thrive. In recent years, she has earned accolades not only for her past work, but for new roles that display her ever-evolving talent. Her performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once won her an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, proof that even after decades in the industry, her star continues to rise. And through it all, she remains unapologetically herself, choosing roles that reflect her values and challenging the norms of Hollywood with her honesty and depth. Jamie Lee has also faced health scares, including a recent injury sustained during a public event. Even then, she handled the situation with humor and resilience, sharing a photo in a medical boot while playfully referring to the agony of day feet. That's Jamie Lee, unfiltered, real, and endlessly relatable. When natural disasters struck her beloved California community, she did not hesitate to lend support. After the wildfires swept through Los Angeles, she took to social media to assure fans of her family's safety, while expressing concern and compassion for those who were not as fortunate. Her words were not just updates, they were calls for unity and aid, reflecting the deep empathy that drives her actions. At the center of her life is her marriage to actor and director Christopher Guest. Together for nearly 4 decades, theirs is a rare love story in the world of entertainment. Jamie Lee speaks often about the ups and downs of long-term partnership and how perseverance, humor, and shared purpose have held them together. Their bond, grounded in honesty and mutual respect, is a cornerstone of her strength. Equally important to her is motherhood. Her children, her chosen family, and her role as a parent have shaped her profoundly. She often says that being present for her loved ones, fully and honestly, is the greatest reward of her sobriety. Today, Jamie Lee Curtis is more than a Hollywood star. She is a beacon for those navigating the difficult terrain of addiction. She is a champion for authenticity in an industry that often thrives on illusion. She is a mother, a wife, an advocate, and a survivor. Her story is not defined by her struggles, but by how she chose to face them, with courage, with honesty, and with a fierce determination to rise. For those who have watched her on screen and followed her journey, Jamie Lee Curtis is a symbol of what it means to fall and rise again, to hurt and heal, and to live with purpose. As we reflect on her life and legacy, we are reminded that the most powerful stories are not always the ones filled with glitz and glamour, but the ones that echo our own fears and hopes. Jamie Lee's life invites us to believe that change is possible, healing is real, and that through honesty and love, we can create something beautiful, both on screen and in the lives we touch. Her journey continues, and for those who admire her, she remains a guiding light, flawed, fearless, and full of heart.